What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Side Hustle Experiment Podcast. We got our good friend Jamison, aka Winning with Jamison now. He did change his name from before. He's a seven-figure Amazon seller. I've known Jamison for, I don't know, almost 5 years now. We've met a bunch of times in person. He was on one of the original guests on the podcast as well. So happy to have him back as well. So thanks for being here.
Sir, of course. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate y'all.
What inspired the name change?
Just going a different direction. I've been wanting to get into like filming like content and stuff, like non-Amazon stuff for a long time, and I just never knew what to do. And I live in Vegas. I love to gamble. I love to eat. So I just started filming gambling, like literally filming while I go to the casino and gamble, just film my sessions and just talk. And so I'm gonna try to become the next Vegas Matt.
When you talk about gambling, just like, well, maybe we talked about this before, but I don't remember. Just like blackjack and slots and stuff, or do you play poker?
Strictly video poker. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the only game you play?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, I play other stuff too. Like they won't let you film at the blackjack table. You gotta you gotta be special to be able to do that.
The video poker's fun, man. That's one of my favorite things to play when I go there.
I have fun. I have a lot of fun doing it. So we'll see how it goes.
It's a nice arc. Most people are going to Walmart or they're either going to something else, and you're just like, I'm going to start gambling all the time. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Well, how about the business? You said you were packing some orders before you got on here. So how's the state of the business these days?
Good. I've been jumping into eBay really hardcore the last couple of months. I mean, hardcore for me. I mean, it's probably crappy sales to other people, but I think about like in the last 6 weeks, like 4,200 in sales on eBay, which literally I had this stuff just sitting in my garage, in my storage, just sitting there for years, just like, stuff that you bought and it got damaged between the house and home before shipping to Amazon, stuff that got returned on Amazon, like just stuff sitting there. So I'm really trying to focus on just like mentally liquidating everything that I don't need, and then everything that I don't need in my house. So I've been really just pumping eBay really hard, just because it's honestly not even the extra cash you get from it, but it's just so freeing to see space open up in your garage that you haven't seen an area of the floor for like 4 years, And then I got my girl, doing she's running, I'm doing the buying for Amazon, and she's prepping and, inspecting and packing and everything, because she's way faster and way better at that than I am. Because like if I'm shipping, I'm on my phone, I'm on YouTube, I'm talking on the phone, prepping 3 things. Like she's just boom, 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 boom. So she likes it, works for her, and then I can focus on the eBay stuff and the other things that I'm trying to do as well. So it's a good team, and things are flowing pretty good.
Sure.
Sweet. Are you doing mostly RA still?
I mean, we just got back from our 2-month road trip doing RA. So, I mean, we were just, banging that out. We just took a sourcing trip to LA, and then we actually did a day trip to go to Mexico. So I did some RA in Mexico, but stuff that I'm going to ship, that I'm going to sell on eBay. I didn't want to buy like toys for Amazon in another country, because some of the like the words are in a different language and the packaging is a little bit different. So I did go do some sourcing at Walmart in Mexico, and I'm just going to sell that stuff on eBay just to test it out. Because it's stuff that like we really can't get in the States anymore, and it's like everywhere there. So I did a little test, and Mexico is only like an hour and a half drive from my girl's parents' house, and we go see her parents every couple of months. So we could just shoot down to Tijuana, buy, and then shoot on back if we need to. So yeah, we're just trying to focus on that, and starting to film a lot of content, and working, just hired a video editor to do some really cool like video ideas that I have, like Vegas related non-gambling and stuff I want to test out. So yeah, we've been busy, because Amazon's still tugging away. We're still working on that, but it's like Amazon shit's getting crazy this year with just everything. It's like Amazon is just like you don't know if your next step, you're stepping on a landmine.
That's the common theme every episode. I feel like everybody said like, yeah, it's just a little scary and stuff, because you see people just get deactivated all the time. It is a little bit like, it's nice to see people diversify though. I feel like you stick in one thing too long, or you're just like too narrow-minded about stuff. That's definitely how you crash.
100%.
It seems like you're diversifying all over the place. Mexico especially. So I want to hear more about this Mexican thing. Are you doing like, is this like an arbitrage of currency type thing, or is it like discontinued products or whatever?
Just discontinued toys. This is like the first time I've ever tried it, honestly. Because because my girl had to go to the doctor and get a bunch of tests done. And it was like, to do it here, even like with insurance and everything, like she'd still be paying like thousands of dollars out of pocket. So we went to Mexico. So she made an appointment to go to the doctor's. It was like $77 American to do all the same stuff that would have cost thousands. So we're like, F it, let's just freaking make a day trip to Mexico. Let's go, we'll eat some food. We'll go check out some sites. I was like, oh dude, I want to go hit some Walmarts and see if we can find anything. So it's a test. I mean, I spent a few $100, like $300. You know, I bought like maybe 30, 40 different, you know, small little toys and stuff. So just going to test it out, see how it goes. Cause I'm a noob when it comes to eBay, and obviously eBay, like I could sell one thing on eBay in a month and I could sell 100 on Amazon, you know, so eBay's a lot slower, like, and I have to list a lot more, but it's still fun. You know, it's kind of cool, honestly, in a weird way, to go back to my roots of where I started, because I haven't done eBay in like 10 years. And honestly, I've been having a lot of fun. Like, obviously I know like people are like, oh, well, your time could be useful somewhere else. You could make more money in a different area. But it's like, dude, I'm having fun doing this. Like I forgot what it was like to scrap and have to take pictures of every item. And like, dude, it's fun. And it's honestly like, the most rewarding part is like freeing. Like, I mean, I know we are all guilty of this. We just pile up our damages and our returns. They just pile up for years. And mentally, we may not realize it, but how much stress that causes on us mentally. And like, I have like in my garage now, like a whole pallet space worth of floor that I haven't seen literally in years. And it felt amazing just to see that, like, wow, eBay works, you know? And so I'm getting more rewarded from that, which is allowing me to be less stressful. And then I can perform better in every other areas of my life, which is freaking awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Do you have any tips on how to like start doing that? Because I obviously know how to list on eBay, and I did like 120K in 3 months back in 2020 and on eBay, but like I just cannot muster myself up to go take the pictures and set things up. And like, I have to go to the post office for one item. Like, did you struggle with any of that, or what was your tips of kind of like streamlining it or whatever?
I mean, I'm probably not great at it. I probably take a little too long to do a lot of things. I mean, since eBay obviously is my full-time income, I put my handling time at 3 days on eBay. So I only have to go to the post office like twice a week. And good thing is my post office is 2 minutes down the road. But yeah, so like all my sales I got last week from like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, didn't have to go out till today and tomorrow. So I had like 5 or 6 days where I didn't have to ship. And so so it was nice to not have to go to the post office. I actually signed up for this little app. It's called like Photo Room or some shit. Like, it takes your pictures and it like whitens the background. It works amazing. And I can just boom, boom, boom. I can get up an eBay listing in a minute, you know, once I'm like good and going. And then I do everything from my phone, and I literally have a white poster board on the floor with a ring light for my light. Like, it's a super simple, cheap setup. I'm not putting a lot of effort into it. And like before, when I sold on eBay full time, I put so much effort into the pictures and making sure everything was perfect. And now it's just like, whatever, I don't care. I mean, whatever, if they get mad, they return it, like, you know, whatever. It's it's liquidated money. It's like the money's already lost, so everything here is a bonus. So literally 3-4 pictures of every item. If it's an expensive item, a few more pictures. And literally I can get my listings up in 2 minutes. And then they have a cool feature on the app where you can just use AI to make the description for you. Just boom, done.
Oh, wow.
And then you just list. Yep. And then pretty much everything that I have, I'm just listing as used. It's got damage, so that way nobody can argue, oh, this was supposed to be new. Nope, everything I'm selling is used. You know, boom. And I've sold maybe a couple hundred items in the last 6-7 weeks, and I think I've only had one return. So yeah, and literally the item came back, and I just resold it, and I'm actually boxing it up right now. So, and it was like a damaged Funko from Amazon. I ordered a bunch of Funkos from my supplier, and like 20 or 30 of them came damaged, and I'm just liquidating them on eBay just to get my money back.
It's hilarious when, like you said, I'm probably not doing it very well, and then you just rail off like 8 tips that I like. If only I would have never thought. 3-day handling time, no shit, that solves my entire problem of going to the post office. Photo room, that allows you to make the pictures really, really fast. And then just putting a whiteboard on, yeah, that might just make me do that now. The 3-day handling time, I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah,
dude, it's so nice.
You won't sell as fast, but who cares?
Exactly. Like, I hated having to go to like every day. I'm going to the post office. I sold something for $8 shipped. Costs more in gas, so.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you plan on just like keep doing it, or do you think you'll do it after you clear out your stuff, or is it just like, I'm going to clear this stuff out and then I'll be done?
We'll see, because that's like, I mean, I probably have many, many months worth of stuff to list. Like, once I run out of stuff to list, where am I going to source more? That's, so haven't gotten that far yet. We'll see what happens when the time comes. But I have, when I am buying wholesale now, obviously I'm not going to go too deep on that stuff. I'm seeing like what I'm wholesaling on Amazon. I'm seeing if I can trickle some of it out on eBay. So some of my Funko Pops that I sell on Amazon, I can actually sell on eBay and make a similar price, or maybe like a couple dollars less, but it's still an extra avenue just to get that money trickling faster. So I've got like maybe 30 SKUs of wholesale stuff that I'm selling on Amazon that trickle on eBay. Like I might sell 1 or 2 a month, like nothing crazy, but it's still just nice to have that extra area. It's like very like motivational. And so we'll see what happens in the next few months when I run out of stuff to list.
Interesting.
What about Walmart? Everybody that we've talked to is hot on Walmart. We had a really good one last week, Cody, about it. I wonder if you're on there or not.
I honestly, I was supposed to sign up last week. I did a Zoom call with one of their e-commerce guys. That's going to help me set up my account. And then if I have any issues, he can personally look at it. Like if you say like you sign up for Walmart and you're denied, well, let me take a look and see if I can push you through, type thing. Or if you've run into any problems, you come to me. Don't go through the support. You come to me and I can kind of handle. So we did a call last week or the week before, and I was supposed to set up, because I want to set up a new LLC and everything for Walmart. And I didn't get to it because I got a really, really, really good wholesale deal that I had to fly out of town for. I had to fly out of town, rent a U-Haul, and then bring it back home, which was unexpected. So it was like 4 days when I had to go out of town. I just got back yesterday. And so that kind of got pushed back a week. So I'm going to try to get that done next week, and then get Walmart going, just another avenue. Obviously, it's not going to be anywhere comparable to Amazon, but it's still, can trickle into something, at some point.
It's probably easy to get approved. Me and John got approved in you were like an hour, right, John? And I was 3. Yeah. We use the same. So Cody said to use the same stuff, right? Didn't he tell us that?
Yeah, we just use the same stuff. Yeah, like we were just kind of like, oh, maybe we should like check this out and do this. And we're like, I think after the pod, we're just like, let's just see if we get approved. I haven't done anything with it, but I got approved. Yeah, I think within like 2 hours, everything was all
nice,
kind of set up and like good to go. I haven't done anything with it yet. I don't really know if I will, but I guess it's there.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, I started sourcing. I sourced for probably like 2 hours or so. I kept running into the issue of you can storefront stock really easy on there. It shows people's out of stock products. Like everything I've ever sold's on there, which I guess can be a positive or a negative. Yeah. But the problem was I kept clicking into listings and it would be like for example, one was $18 and I found it for $5.50 somewhere. So like, man, I just found some third item I had sourced, but then it was actually showing only that seller's thing and not Walmart themselves, who was on the listing. So I was like, oh, it's like Amazon when you're storefront stocking, you click in, it'll show the price of them.
Their price, listing price, not what it could be on Amazon. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't figure that out for like 4 more listings. So I thought that I was killing it, and I'm like, wait a second, nothing's good. But I mean, I could see where it would be all right. Me and John were talking about before this. I think a lot of people are having a lot of success with Walmart, but they're putting a lot of effort into Walmart. So it's like, that's like you being like, my eBay is just blowing up right now. But it's like, clearly you're saying I'm putting more effort into eBay. So like, obviously it's going to do well. I think that's a little bit of what's happening. Because for me, it's just hard to find like the data. Like you don't know where to look. Like, I don't know, on there, it doesn't show a sales rank, doesn't show anything. You're kind of just like betting on kind of what you know already, I guess.
That was kind of my big thing too, before even me wanting to go into Walmart. And one thing that was cool when I did the Zoom call with these guys is that they seem to be like really taking in, the information from us so they can make the platform better. Because I said that's one of the main reasons. It's like, I don't know if this is selling 1 a month or 1,000 a month. And they were like, yeah, that's a big thing that a lot of sellers have, that's something in the works that in the future we will, navigate. So that way it's more catered to you guys, because we do want to make Walmart a good platform for you guys to sell on. So they're like, so it seemed, I mean, from our call that we had, it seemed like they're very interested in like hearing like, okay, what can we do better? What do you want from the platform? And then, so, I mean, hopefully in the next, year or 2 years, things, even out to where they're really beneficial to work with and sell on.
I noticed that too, because as soon as I signed up and kind of got everything like situated or whatever, someone actually called me from Walmart and they were just like, hey, like we're going to be your rep. If you have any questions, like just reach out to us. It's like, this is crazy. Like the fact, like you can't even get a hold of anyone on Amazon or get anyone
Mm-hmm.
without, I don't know, having to wait for 15, 20 minutes. And then the person you get isn't even helping you. So I was like, wow, this is interesting that I've had an account for less than 3 hours and someone's already reaching out, be like, hey, if you need any help, just let me know. I'm just like, wow, interesting. So for Amazon, are you still trying to grow the business, or you're just kind of maintaining and like diversifying? If you want the exact spreadsheet I have used to sell over $3 million on Amazon, how I track my buys, how I track my best sources, where I put links to my favorite sites, I have a spreadsheet that I've spent the last 2-3 years building. If you want access to it, it is absolutely free. Just go to the free resources section down below this video. 100% free. Now let's get back to the podcast.
Maintain for now. Gonna kind of play it by ear. And kind of see how the coming months go. Obviously, we're still going to push really hard since we're jumping into Christmas and whatnot. But we'll kind of see. I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical of Amazon's future for us in the coming years. So I really want to just push eBay a little bit, push Walmart. Obviously, it'll take a little while to build up to where the income is coming in that it was from Amazon. And then I really want to, push the whole, filming my content for TikTok and Reels and Shorts and YouTube and all that. And hopefully I can build that. And then over the next year or 2 years, 3 years, or however long, if it takes, that turns into something someday where I can make, an income from that. And then just kind of play it by ear from there, but just keep grinding and, working hard every day while the opportunity is still here.
What are your general thoughts about all of it? I always am curious about what people think about the Amazon situation. Like, why do you think that stuff's happening? And like, do you think it'll get better or worse, or your general thoughts all around?
I definitely don't see it getting easier. I've never been to one, like, I mean, this might be negative, but I don't really care. I could be narrow-minded. I don't really care. But like, I've never been one of those guys like, oh, there's too many people on the platform. Like, there's enough for every, like, I'm kind of like, like it's obviously, yes, you can still crush it at Amazon. We're still making a full-time income on Amazon. And now, my fiance works with me full-time. Like, she was able to quit her job. So like, we're still doing, and like, we're, staying ahead of the curve, and like, we're making it happen, but it is not like what it used to be. Like, I would say, like, it used to be fairly easy. And now it's like, all right, I'm sweating a little bit in certain areas. Cause like when you have a mixture of like more and more and more sellers, and then a mixture of more and more fees, our shipping, FBA shipping fees, like freaking doubled or tripled overnight. Obviously, yes, we're still going to make adjustments. We're going to make it work, but it's like that, that's a hit. Like, I'm spending, how many thousands of dollars more a year on shipping now. My boxes used to cost $7 to $10 to ship. Now they cost $10 to $30 to ship. Okay, that's, obviously, yes, source better. Boom, done. Going to make that happen. Obviously, we have to cut, the $2 and $3 profit items. Okay, maybe those aren't as good to do anymore. Okay, and then you also have that the low inventory fee, which I don't know how they choose, because I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day that sold like 700 units in the last like 6 months of his thing, but Amazon still tacked on the low inventory fee on them. And he had like 200 in stock, and we were like that's kind of weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really sure how that works, but like, that's another fee added on. That's less money in our pocket. Obviously, we keep adjusting. We try to source better. But then, we have all that, and then a mixture of more and more and more sellers growing and coming into the game. It's going to be challenging, and like, obviously, some people are going to fall off, some aren't. Some are going to prosper and grow, and then navigate and pivot. And it's not going to get easier. That's for sure. I don't see Amazon getting easier, especially like if I were to come into Amazon today, brand new, I would fail 100%. I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't think I could come into Amazon with no knowledge just starting today. I think it would be very, very difficult. But I don't know. Like I said, I could be negative, could be narrow-minded. I could be just a dumbass. I don't know. That's just, my thought of it.
No, man, I think that you just like are being realistic about it. And you could be wrong, but definitely
yeah,
100%. Not being dumb, that's for sure. Because that's how I feel sometimes. Like, maybe I'm too negative, but it's like I'm just being realistic. I could be wrong, but I'm definitely not lying.
100%.
That is for sure. And I don't think that you were lying either. You're just telling the truth, and you could be telling the wrong truth, but that's just what you see. So I think you're right too. I didn't even think about it really, like the inverse of sellers rising and fees, some fees rising as well. That is like a rough too. I never really thought about it from that perspective. Because I never really paid attention to fees. I paid attention more like safety overall. But I guess now when fees are increasing, it's like when's this going to be insane? Like you're making 3% margin. Like at that point, it's like what's your dollar per hour? Like it's probably super super low.
Exactly, and then you like have all your credit card bills and everything. Yep.
Like to make 3%, right? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, I've spent a lot of this year diversifying as well. Like, obviously, Amazon is still a bulk of my income, but kind of doing the influencer program now and kind of flipping some of that stuff locally. So that's been going really well. So, and then you have content and the school group and all, like helping other people. But yeah, it's just like trying to keep it real. Like, I get so many DMs from this. It's just like, I like your guys' podcast the most because you're honest about it. Like, if you listen to this podcast, like most of it, shit on Amazon a lot and kind of like the future of it and like what will happen. I think you like nailed it on the head. Like, some people will leave, other people will do fine, but like the more and more people I'm talking to, it's more like, yeah, like we're kind of looking for some other options. Like, it's still a great option, but it's not as good for me. I think the craziest part is one of the reasons why I diversified. It's just seeing people get like kicked off left and right. I've always been a person that's like, oh, if someone gets suspended or something, like there's always more to the story than it's not like, oh, they just like sent me an email. But I've seen more and more like Duke does Amazon. Like he just like, they're like, yeah, you can no longer sell these brands anymore. Like he didn't do anything wrong. Like I'm pretty friendly with him. And I was like, oof, like just out of nowhere, like he's stuck with like 20K worth of inventory. And I'm like, damn. It just like made me like think through. Um and like all from like legit suppliers, like retail sites, like it was just crazy to me. And that kind of just opened my eyes to it. It's like, all right, like this is still good, but like you said, it's not getting like any easier.
I've also too like I've probably of personal friends of mine, not like, I've probably known at least 30 people that have quit Amazon and gone back to regular work in the last year. I even saw a post today, a friend of mine, a post, hey, I've got about $3,000-$4,000 worth of Amazon inventory left. Does anybody want to buy it? I'm not doing Amazon anymore. Or I had another buddy who quit Amazon and he was like, hey, pay the shipping. I'll send you a bunch of poly bags and a bunch of supplies. All right, boom, paid the shipping. And then he sent me boxes, of his old poly bags and stuff because he quit Amazon and, was going to something else. But yeah, I know many, many, many close friends that are doing full-time, 9-to-5s now because Amazon just isn't working out. And they're way smarter. Like two of my best friends both have full-time, working home jobs now that were full-time Amazon. One had a super successful private label business that kind of just went sour a little bit with COVID because it was like in a niche that kind of with COVID, it kind of that market went down and then Amazon went down and he's 1,000 times smarter than me, like very analytical. Like he's very with the spreadsheets and like just like mind blowing and he's failing at Amazon. So it's like, holy shit. Like if you're failing, like what the hell am I doing? Because I suck at that stuff.
So is that the big reason they quit? Were they just losing money or what was the big?
It was a mixture of losing money and then this like some buys didn't turn out. Like you could look at all the Keep It data in the world and it's like, okay, this has been selling here for 3 years. And it's like, boom, it sells 2,000 a month. And then it's like, okay, boom, let me go buy 5,000 units. And then out of nowhere, 500 sellers show up, and then you hold it for a year. Like, all right, I'll just hold them. They'll sell out. They never sell out. And it's like, like that, you tie up 30, 40K in a buy or whatever it may be. And then, some other things, happen, a mixture with some fees, mixture. It's like a little bit of everything, kind of like it all piles up. And then it's like, oh shit, then I have to go get a job now to pay down, my lines of credit and, pay off, my loans that I had, my credit cards, and then, support my family on top of that, so it's crazy, it's a crazy time, right now. It's
Yeah, I remember this. I have a friend that's in real life, but I met him online originally. And he came to me one day. He's like, dude, we got to hop on a call. This was like a few months after I'd stopped selling Amazon. He's like, check out these ASINs. I bought all these 2 weeks ago. And he had like a list of 25 of them. He's like, none of them are profitable. I bought them and they were all 30% plus ROI. Now they're all negative, and the sellers have ballooned up to like 50 and 100. I'm like, where'd you buy these things? And he's like, just a mixture of like Ollie's and like different kind of like bargain type stores. And he's like, I don't even know how this is possible. I guess it's because there's so many people doing it now that even with people dropping off, it's just the influx is way higher than the outflux.
Yeah. One quits and 5 more come in place. And, like I remember sourcing, even 2-3 years ago, it's like not a lot of people talked about certain stores. And now it's like, it's like, I don't, like it's fucking, there's like more gurus than there are sellers nowadays, and they'll blow up any spot, like just to get you to join their group. Like, oh, go shop at this store. It's like, well, fuck. Well, I was shopping there for 2 years. Now I'm done, because like, or like I'll be sourcing items that I've been selling for years, and it'll be like me and maybe a couple other random people that I don't know selling it. And the next thing you know, it's posted on somebody who's got fucking 100,000 followers. It's like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to sell out because I've seen this happen before. And now this item is gonna be unprofitable for the next 5 years until everybody forgets about it, And it's like that happens a lot more, than
I think the bad part about that too, and I just learned this the other day, like I never even consider this perspective, because I always talk about like these stores probably like resellers because we're just bringing them income, like buying their shit. But the real problem is now that social media is so big, you can just post a TikTok and like the store actually gets tons of negative publicity. So I go to a vitamin shop near me and get like dollar energy drinks all the time. Like it's pretty much a weekend ritual. And I went and first, I think this was like 6 months ago, I got 45 one day, and the limit is 6, but they would usually let you get however many you want. One day I came in and they said, the record's 72. Are you going to beat it today? I was like, yeah, I'll get close to it. I got like 60 something. But the last time I went, probably the last 3 times, I'm like, why? Like they were like, you're limited at 6. Like I can let you have 10 maybe. And I was going into like, why? And they said this TikTok blew up of this guy going and buying 160 of these specific drinks from Vitamin Shop. And that brand of the drink said, we're not selling to you guys anymore if you're going to let people do that stuff. And the kid was reselling them on Amazon or whatever. And I was like, that's funny, man, because I used to do that. Like that was my thing. But it brings tons of negative publicity to the brands and the stores. And I think that's something they're like, even if these people are bringing us revenue, the hate that we're going to get, and they're like, that's not good for the brand at all. And I never considered that, but think about that. That's like the people that really lose are the brands, because they have to cut the resellers off if all these people are like, you guys are supporting these scammers, because that's how everybody sees us, right? Just like scammers to resell. Yeah, and that's not good. I feel like that'll probably get worse and worse too, because, those videos go viral, very viral.
Yeah. Yep.
I see it all the time too with like even some stores like who used to be like unlimited. Like you could get as much as you wanted. Like you could use the coupons, all that kind of stuff. And now it's like, oh, the coupon, you could only save up to $100 per transaction. You could only get 5 of them. You could only get 10 of them or whatever. And I think, these stores just don't, I don't know, or that's not probably why they're in business. Like it's like, for you and me to like, to get like a water bottle or something, they want to do something nice for their customers and not like let us buy them and move them on Amazon or whatever. It's just like crazy how a lot has changed in that aspect. And I think you're right. It's almost never been, you almost have to be on like Twitter and in some of these groups because to see like what not to buy. Like, I think that's the most valuable part of being on Twitter or on social media is to be like going through. I've started going through actually like TikTok reels and like scrolling a little bit more because you see some people go into stores or they're like, hey, like buy this or buy this or buy that. And you're like, oh shit, like I'm not going to buy that now. Like, or that brand or shop because it's just out there and, everyone's going to kind of catch on and kind of do it.
Are you a beauty selling guy at all?
No, I don't do any beauty at all. Yeah.
I saw they got a recent hit that this week, I believe. A bunch of brands did. One really big one. Did you see that, John?
I did, yeah.
What was the brand? Maybelline?
Yeah, it was Maybelline
maybe
I think it was
Maybelline.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
No, that's like their slogan or whatever on their commercials. Maybe it's Maybelline or whatever the hell it goes. I don't remember. That's what
When
they
they're
the
dropping like
commercial.
flies, the beauty brands. Beauty used to be
Yeah.
good. I mean, I used to do a bunch of beauty, but now it's just too risky. With like
Hmm.
listings getting like deactivated, there's like a ton of rogue listings in the beauty category, which I think why they're like kind of leaving. Um,
Yeah.
Well, one thing, like back to what you were saying, like more and more sellers coming on the platform, I think it should be an interesting Q4 because
Yep.
usually I sorted this back to school. There's some stuff I bought last year for back to school, buy it again this year. I didn't buy it this year, but like maybe there was like 20 sellers max. Last
Hmm.
year, there were like 200 this year.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yep.
trying to like think through Q4. It's like, oh, should I not buy like some of the stuff I bought last year? Because usually I'd be like, oh, like the last 2 years, this went amazing. But if I like stock up, get like 300 of one thing, and then 200 sellers get on the listing, it's almost like
Yeah.
too risky. So I'm like, I'm
Yep.
gonna go really, really wide this Q4, and just kind of play it by ear.
Some of
Yeah.
those
That's
toys,
smart. That's same.
some of those toys, I remember them having 250 sellers last year or the year before that.
Bro.
I can't imagine this year we might see like 1,000 seller listing. I don't
I
know if
would.
there's
I would
been one
love.
yet, but we might see one of those soon.
Dude, that would be insane. Yes, I'm gonna keep an eye out. Yeah, it was, dude. Last year, I remember like looking at the Walmart Black Friday deals, and some of them, like on paper, they looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I was guilty of a couple. Like there was this Bakugan toy that Walmart I think marked down to 20. I think at the time it was going for like 60, $75 somewhere around there. There was probably, I don't know, under 20 sellers, 10, 15 sellers. And I was dumb. I was like, I know this is going to tank, but let me buy 25 of them. Like, normally I would want to buy like 500 of them. I was like, let me just buy 25. I was dumb. I knew it wasn't going to work. And within 3 weeks, there was over 300 sellers on that listing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Over
I bought some of that stuff
300.
too. Yeah, I do remember that. There was a Roku remote that I bought, and it was like 20 into 60 something as well. Same thing happened. But those are, I guess you're right. That is kind of like a basic sale. So maybe that's not, super typical, but man, that many people. And the price is probably what, like $32. You're like, you went from
Dude,
making 50.
I was losing like $10 a unit when it was time to
Yep.
sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said about the holding, it's like you hold it for a year, but dude, everybody else is holding it for a year. Like,
Dude, it's insane. Holding is not what it used to be. Everyone's a Lego investor now,
Yep.
Yeah, the Lego sets last year were, oh my god, terrible. I think there was one Lego set, might have been like the Lego Christmas tree. I passed on it. It just, I don't know, they might have had a limit. I forgot why, but I think that went up to like 800 sellers.
Wow.
There was one set and it went up to 800, and I don't know what it is now or what ended up happening, but like, yeah, I don't think the supply was there, or the demand was there rather.
yeah, because that much supply, you got to think if you have like 500 sellers, let's say on a listing, no one's got one. Like minimum, they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have. What's the average? Probably everybody has 10 average. Like so, that's 5,000 different things on that. Like that, there's no way the demand reaches that in one singular month. And you never know. Amazon comes into stock, that jacks the whole thing up too.
Yeah.
That stuff's scary. I just did that call for John's group, and I was like, if you don't know toys, don't do toys, because that's what happened to a ton of those listings. Is they just
Mhm.
explode with sellers. Yeah. One of the other things, switch topics a little bit. Last time you were talking about, you really like talking about the female male dynamic type stuff.
Yes.
Is that going to be something part of your new Winning with Jamison brand?
We will see. I'm definitely open to it. I'm gonna just right now. My main goal is to be consistent and like learn to be like comfortable with filming. I still am very, very, very like awkward and nervous when I'm filming in my face and then I walk by people, like where I'm like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, guys, it's cool, like, and so I'm just right now, whatever all the shit I'm posting is probably not good. It's not edited good, and it's I just want to post. I don't care if it's crap. I just want to post and just get used to posting, get out of my comfort zone, slowly grow, and then at some point I would like to get make videos like that. We'll see. I know that type of stuff, would probably bring some negative, talks and negative comments. But we'll see. Definitely open to the possibilities with that one.
Yeah, because you were passionate about it. Last time we were talking about it, I was like, man, you really like, and you know your stuff too. So I'm sure there's some kind of inclination like you want to talk about it. I feel like that all the time. I'm like, I'll eventually go on some arc work because that's like what I really care about is that type of thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
guys just getting like the brute end of a lot of stuff in like society today. I would love to talk about that. But like you said, it just brings in a different kind of crowd, positively and negatively. Like you do get
Yes.
you get a lot of weird backers on the side that want to back you. And then also you get so much hate when you do that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's really sad, honestly. Is like the mental like shit that men have to deal with it's
Yep.
very challenging, and the average man doesn't have an outlet to speak about it or to talk about it or have a healthy group of friends to talk about it. So they bottle that shit up for 20 years, and then
Yep.
it turns into a drinking problem. Maybe some drugs. And then how many men kill themselves every year. It turns into that. And then it's like when they're gone, it's like, oh man, it's so sad. But like they were here. Like, we
And
didn't
no one
care
even
about them
cared.
until they were gone, like
Yep. And it seems like it's such a sad thing. It's like I hate seeing that stuff, honestly. Like when people are all sad about it, I'm like, you weren't sad before. Like you didn't really even care, and now you're using it as like a pity thing. Yeah, I can't stand that
mm-hmm.
stuff either. And I feel like that's one of the biggest problems in society, really. That whole situation you're just talking about. And like I don't know who's going to bring that to the light because I feel like a politician doing that would help. Those politicians nowadays, like, all of it's kind of so in your face, especially with Twitter too. Like someone
Yeah.
talking about that type of thing would be big, but no one talks about that. It's like, oh, let's just appease
Yeah.
everyone. But yeah, I don't love that either. Yeah, what
I
else
had
you
a
got? Before I
I
go
was
on a
gonna
big rant about.
share one quick thing
Okay,
that
go.
is that this is one thing that I've been always guilty of, and this is kind of ties in with the whole mental health and men's thing. So I got an unexpected phone call with a deal the other day, like Thursday, and it was I have to go pick the deal up, or you're not going to get it, or we're going to give it to someone else. And it was like a great deal. Like I would I'm going to clear like 5-6 grand on it, by the end of the year. And they called me up. Do you want the deal? All right. What's the flight cost? Okay. What's a U-Haul going to cost? Okay. Boom, 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 boom. All right. It's only going to cost me, $2 grand out of pocket for the trip, for the flight, for the food, for the hotel. All right. Boom. Let's do it. Flew out there, no sleep, went to bed, slept 2 hours, got up, handled my business the next day, had to work and do everything, pack up the truck, da 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 da. And then I had to drive like 16 hours home. And I did this all in a day and a half. And so I worked, boom, 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 and then didn't eat all day. And I went to Texas Roadhouse. I was hungry. I was like, you know what? I need a steak, blah, 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 blah. And I went down, I sat, I'm eating my steak. And there was a guy at the bar next to me. And you could tell, like you can kind of tell what a lonely guy looks like, or a guy that might not have friends. You can kind of tell their demeanor. And I'm eating my steak, and I could see him in my peripheral kept looking over at me. He was at the bar by himself. And I was just like, I was tired. It was a long day. I mean, I worked like 50 something hours in like 3 days, like with maybe like 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep. I was just exhausted. I just mentally didn't want to talk. And then eventually he started a conversation with me, and like, I didn't blow him off, but I was like, cordial, but like short. Yeah, that's cool. Blah, blah. And then I kind of like, cause I just, and like after I did that, I felt so guilty. So I was like, what if that man's going through something? Like, what if this is his last day? He's just like, I fucking hate my life. I'm going to go to Texas Roadhouse and get a steak, and I'm going to go home and I'm going to blow my brains out. And it hit me kind of hard because I was like, damn, like, what if he's just going through some shit? Like, all he wanted was a conversation. He was just trying to be friendly and be nice to me. And I wasn't mean. I was very friendly. I was friendly, but I was just mentally beat. I didn't want to talk. I worked. I had no sleep, and I felt so guilty because like it goes back to that thing. Like, we never know what somebody's going through. Like, what if that man was at the end of the rope and he just wanted to have a conversation? That could have planted a seed to help him change his life. And I was like, I felt really guilty after that because I was like, I could have just gave him 5 minutes of friendly conversation, and like I didn't, And that's happened like 4 days ago, and it's still like in my brain. It's like, and it goes back to that. Like, dude, I want to try to like be friendly in those situations like that because you don't know what people are going through, And it's like.
Hard. Yeah, it's hard too. It's like, yeah, like you said, you're justified in being, whatever. I'm like that too all the time. Now that you got me thinking about this now, it's like you go somewhere and you just blow something off, but it's like, man, you know how many stories you hear of like, yeah, I just heard this one guy, he said this one thing to me, and it changed my whole life. It's like that probably could have been that kind of situation, But it's like, man.
Have you guys heard that story? This guy, he was in San Francisco, and I don't know if he was like walking, got on a bus, and basically he wrote a suicide note or something like that. Basically, he's like, if one person smiles at me before I get to the bridge, I'm not going to jump. and he was like bawling his eyes out on the bus. I remember reading this story many, many years ago, and he was like on a bus in San Francisco driving to the San Francisco bridge, and he was going to jump off, and he like crying, and not one person like said anything to him, like through his whole walk or whatever, like bus ride, walk, everything. And it was just like, damn, it's like crazy as a society how we're like, I mean, we're so consumed with ourselves, and like you didn't even notice a guy bawling his eyes out on the bus that got off the bus that was ready to go kill himself. Not even a smile, a hello, like, hey man, what's going on? How you doing? You know? And it's like, you know, and it's natural. Like we're kind of everybody's busy, we got our own worlds, our own things, our own problems. But it's like sometimes it's like I do it too, but I want to try to like open myself up to be more accepting of other people and like showing, you know, love and like, you know, giving somebody that quick minute conversation, you know, that could help, you know, change their lives and, you know, maybe help them make a better decision, which will make another better decision than another. And the next thing you know, they're happy and, you know, not contemplating, you know, ending it or jumping off a bridge.
Yep. 100%. And then when you add phones on top of it too, it's like everybody's so consumed. We're consuming our own world plus our own phone world. So it's like a lot of times you're out in society and you're just like not even paying attention to anybody anyways.
Yep.
Like recently I've been going playing golf with my friends on purpose because I'm like, there's no phones. We're just walking around like having a good time. And it's like crazy how much it matters. Because usually it's just, yeah, you'll go eat or something, but you'll be on your phones, or you'll go out and you'd be drinking anyways, and you'd be on your phone sometimes, that type of thing. But yeah, it's like just paying attention to the world around you and paying attention to people instead of just being consumed in like your own stuff.
Yeah.
It's very important. And you can impact other people's lives, like you said. Like it makes 100%. A huge difference.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to get the message out there, man. I feel like that is way more important than a lot of stuff like this Amazon and shit like that.
It really is, man. It really is.
Yeah. Maybe that's the next step. But
yeah.
Anyway, John, what do you have?
No, I think that was just like a really good like kind of story and point. And sometimes I guess I'm like pretty guilty of that. Like I pretty much have headphones in all the time. Like if I'm in the grocery store or, you know, wherever, just trying to like mind my own business, or it's more just like I like to listen to podcasts and stuff like that. But yeah, like I guess I don't notice as much. And I probably have to do a better job of like doing that, because like you said, like who knows, that one conversation or yeah, like you said, maybe that guy just needed someone to be like, yo, it's gonna be all right, man, don't worry about it. But if he didn't get it, I mean,
yeah. I'm sure you guys have the same issue times two. Is like, I went for years, you know, just with our phones and everything, where I didn't really do phone calls anymore. Like I was just strictly texting. You know, if I'm talking to someone, I'm texting, and that's it. And I really started to force myself again out of my comfort zone. And like the last, you know, month is like actually calling my friends. Cause like, you know, we get consumed with all our businesses and everything we're doing. We get so focused on our goals and everything we're trying to achieve, health goals, fitness, all that. Like sometimes I'll go 6 months without talking to a friend that is a good friend and it was like, it's like, wow, 6 months passed. I haven't even, you know, we haven't talked to each other. So like, I'm getting into the habit of like phoning my friends. Like I had a 20-minute drive today on the way home from an appointment, and I called a buddy I hadn't spoken to on the phone in 6 months, and we had an awesome conversation. And I was like, you know what? I want to get better at reaching out to friends on the phone and actually hearing their voice, saying hi, saying hello, checking in on my friends to make sure they're doing good, you know? And that's, you know, I'm sure we're, you know, it's easily to get consumed in our life and forget to, you know, reach out to friends when you have a lot of people in your life and that.
Yeah. I saw a video, man, recently. I don't know how recent, maybe it was a few months ago, and it was like breaking down.
If you're still listening to the podcast at this point, you are into it and a fan, and we really appreciate that. If you could do us a solid and like, subscribe, and do all that stuff, it really helps the podcast grow. And secondly, if you could tag us on Instagram, just take a picture of what part you are at the podcast. If you like it, tell us what you think about it. Tag me at Side Hustle Experiment, and I will definitely share it. Now let's get back to the podcast.
On how all of your friends and your family and everything, like the amount of time that you'll spend with them throughout your entire life, you've already spent like 95% of it. Because when you were a kid or whatever, you were in college, you spent all this time with either your family or your friends. But then from then on out, as soon as you graduate college or as soon as you move out, that type of thing, your time spent with them is like 5%. Like 95% of all the time you've ever spent with all these people has already happened. So like how much are you going to increase that last 5%? And it like was breaking down a graph of it. And I was like, holy shit, man. When you see a visual representation of all this stuff, you've already spent all the time. It's like my life still has this much left to go, but my time with these people is just like minuscule. So I try the same exact stuff. It's like, get on the phone, go hang out with them. Don't try not to say no to stuff like when, somebody wants to see you, somebody wants to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if this was a podcast or a YouTube video I saw years ago, but this guy kind of broke down. He was like, okay, you're XYZ years old. Okay, you live in XYZ state. Your parents live in XYZ state. How many times do you fly home a year to see them? Once a year for Christmas or whatever. And then your parents are XYZ age. Okay, the average life expectancy is this. Okay, so on paper, calculate, you've got 7 visits left with your family before they die. And it's like, wow, if I see them once a year and my parents are 72 years old and, average life is whatever, I'm just making up numbers. It's like, wow, I'm only going to see my parents 7 more times before they die, potentially, maybe hopefully it's longer. But it was like, when they broke it down like that, I was just like, damn, you got 7 more visits with them until they leave this earth. And it's like, holy shit. Even thinking about it, it's goosebumps. It's like, it's crazy. Like, if you break it down like that, like how much little time we have here,
Yeah. You have like 2 or 3 weeks probably. Like in real time, you have like 2 or 3 weeks, which is crazy. Like think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, like flew by. Like the last 2 or 3, that might be all the time you have left with certain people. Yeah, it's really crazy when you think about it like that. It's like if you don't stop and sit back and think about it like that, I don't think it just won't naturally come to you. And even if it does, you're going to just be laying in bed. You're like, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. But you won't do it tomorrow. That's usually how it goes. It's sad stuff. And it's been a dark one. We got anything positive to talk about here?
I know. Let's
on the darkest little road here. But people will probably like it. I like that kind of stuff. What's positive in life, Jameson?
We're all like crying at the end.
We're talking about mental health and how we're not going to see. Oh, this is terrible. All right, what's positive? Let's bring the vibe up.
All right, let's bring the vibe up. Okay, let's go. We're gonna fruity this up a little bit, but I'm just super happy that I like cinnamon candles and it's that time of season. So I picked up my cinnamon candles at Target the other day. So that's pretty awesome.
What about juice? Last time we talked about juice cleanses. All right. So what about you got any more juice cleanse recommendations? Or do you still do that type of thing? What's your diet regimen these days?
Yeah. So it's really crazy. So this is on a positive note too. So I've been having like I don't want to get into details. I don't want to be gross or nothing, but like just, some symptoms, potential health stuff, like for like a couple of years that I kind of put off. And, when you like, different, like, ab aches and like, just like shit down there and, getting into TikTok and it's like, I have stage 4 colon cancer, like, and I was like starting to get worried, like, dang, you know what? I'm 43 years old. Dang, so like for the last year or two, I've been thinking like, maybe I should get checked out, And then, so I went and got checked out because my symptoms were starting to get worse. I had colonoscopy, expensive as hell. Came out, everything was, they said, you don't have cancer, but we did have to remove something from you. They were, sent it in, got tested, and then it came back non-cancerous, but you do have, what the hell is it, like divicular turda? I don't even know how to say it, the word. But basically it was like something that I got from lack of fiber in my diet over the years because I juice so much and that I wasn't getting enough fiber. And this came, so basically like I have I'm still learning and figuring out what it is, but something to do with inflammation and stuff like that, where like you could get sick out of nowhere, or like, you can have just different issues and, like problems down there because of it. And so I still juice. Like I probably only juice maybe 3 or 4 times a week, like 3 or 4 juices a week, like one every other day. Cause, certain like, veggies and fruits can, cause things, but it was like crazy. Like, dang, like I my whole life, I thought I was being super duper 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 healthy by juicing for the last 10 years, like crazy, which is, good for your body. But it was like, I overdid it a little bit and I was lacking in other areas of my life where I should have been getting, the right nutrients, and I wasn't. So that's really kind of opened my eyes up too, to like, like, wow, it's like, and again, we're here for a short period of time. It's awesome I don't have cancer, because I was kind of worried about that, kind of putting that shit off for like the last year or two. But now I got this to deal with. Okay, so now, boom, they're like, don't eat spicy foods anymore because that could cause an inflammation issue, blah, 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 blah. But, kind of woke me up again. It's like, one thing I have a problem with is working out. I fucking hate working out. Absolutely hate it with a passion. And, I would force myself to do it. Okay, come on, give me 10 minutes of something. Just go. Okay, boom. Hated it. 10 minutes of something. It's like, where's that spark? Because I used to have that spark of working out where I loved and craved the gym, but I couldn't find it. And, this last, couple of months, I was able to somehow something clicked and it came back. So I've been really focusing on eating out and working out, slimming down, and, eating, a shit ton of protein and like getting the right vitamins and stuff like that. So I've been really focusing on that as well as everything else that's crazy going on in the world. It's just, eating better and like truly taking care of my body and like, getting into workout, like even if it's like 15, 20 minutes, 4 or 5 days a week at something, do something consistent or that you can do every day for the rest of your life. Not like, let's go to the gym for 90 days and work out 3 hours a day and then boom, we're done for the rest of our life, but just so small little steps, compound effect, compounding type. Wow, sorry. But so that's good. That's great. And I feel better about it. And then, which again, it's like got me motivated to do eBay again. Okay. That's another positive thing, which causes me to do another positive thing, which is causing me to, put me into space. Okay, let's start making YouTube videos. Let's do this. Boom, out of my comfort zone. I'm growing there. Okay, let's start calling friends again instead of texting them or going a year without talking to them. Boom, that's another positive thing, which it's like, it's just everything is compounding. So it's like I'm moving in the right direction and opening myself up to better opportunity.
Yep. Well, elaborate on this juicing thing a little bit. So don't vegetables have a bunch of fiber?
So eating the actual vegetables, you get the fiber. But when you juice, it extracts all the pulp. It goes this way. It sucks out all the juice. So you lose a lot of the fiber, the majority of it, if not all of it. I don't know. But you lose, pretty much all of it for the most part, as far as I could tell. And so you're getting all the good nutrients, vitamins and everything, but you're losing all the fiber. And I wasn't eating any fiber. Like, in pretty much almost everything I eat, there was no fiber or very, very low amounts of fiber, And so
and
now
you didn't even know that was bad or whatever? Yeah, I didn't.
I didn't even think of it, honestly. Like I didn't like who thinks like, oh, I need more fiber in my diet. Like I have no problem using the restroom. I juice 4 times a day. Like the restroom's my best friend, like.
Yeah, because that's usually the trait, right? That's usually like, if you can't use the bathroom, then you eat the fiber. And if you weren't having a problem, it's like you didn't really have any symptom of it that was like right in your face. Like, hey man, you gotta fix this thing. That's interesting.
I know. I don't even know what the heck foods are, where fiber would like, I have to get into it and figure out what to eat, but it's like, I don't even know what the hell's in fiber or what fiber's in, It's as weird as it sounds.
Yeah, I guess I don't either. That's probably bad. I'm pretty sure that's very important, so that's probably bad. I know those carnivore diets and stuff, those are very low in fiber. So people have those type of issues with that as well. I think every time you do an extreme diet, I've learned this because I've done some extreme ones. Like, I don't know, maybe I was starting this the last time that you were on here. I was trying to do the Hormozy thing where it was like a pound of turkey twice a day and then something else. Dude, that was brutal. That was making, I was staying in the bathroom. I was like, what? There's no way he does this. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I just really thought like all these extreme diets just like are not extremely good for your health. Like you just need to have like a whole food balanced diet as much as possible. And you can add in little things, like a fast or a juice or whatever. But these like super extreme things, I think our bodies don't handle that stuff very well.
100%, dude. Next time we do a podcast, we're all going to be on the toilet, like doing it from the toilet. Hey, what's up, guys? In my bathroom. What up?
Yeah, the funny thing about those diets too, it's like you have all these health experts like parroting around different diets. So you're like, that guy makes a lot of sense, but it's like, well, I have no clue really. But he sounds smart, so I'll just take him.
Yeah,
didn't you read
a lab coat on?
You were talking about maybe a book last time about the juicing on how it's like miracle for your health, basically. Weren't you talking about that?
Maybe.
You talked about something where like you have to read this about the juicing, that it's like really huge for your health. But it's like I probably never even mentioned that,
Yeah. I think it was a documentary.
Yeah, that's what it was, documentary.
Oh, yeah. Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I still recommend juicing. 100%. Like, it has been an absolute game changer for the positive in my life. It's just, one minor thing because I lacked, fiber in my diet. But still, I still juice, but I'm just not doing it as much or to the extreme that I was because I was super, like, all in, gung-ho, like, every day I need 3 juices a day, blah, 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 and it's like, okay, I overdid it, but I still I'll never stop doing it, Just kind of chill a little bit with it.
John, you still got the personal trainer?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, you haven't talked about it much. I remember for a while you were talking about it all the time. I'm like, yeah, I didn't even notice that you hadn't talked about it. How's that going?
Yeah, it's going good. Still go. The summer we traveled a lot to like different places, like going to a lot of concerts, doing a lot of stuff. So I'm trying to settle down a little bit. So I'm definitely getting back into it. Like one thing that like fell off, which is kind of annoying, is like the 10K steps. So I try to get 10K steps every day, and I wasn't doing that prior, and I just noticed like a difference. Um, Another thing I started doing recently, like the last 2 weeks, is I mean, I did 75 hard. So 75 hard, you had to do like one workout outside, one indoor, some other stuff, no drinking and stuff like that. I started walking outside more, and I just really like it. So like I'll go to the gym, and then usually in the afternoon, like I don't know, maybe like after this, like I'll go for a walk outside. I just really enjoyed, like, I think being just like outside,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of getting out. So I mean that's been going well, but yeah, overall health has just been like pretty good. Just going to the gym usually, but yeah, the thing I hate about kind of the health is just takes a lot of time. Like if you're gonna go to the gym, right? It's like 15 minutes to the gym. You get there, you're there an hour or whatever you're doing. Then you got to shower. Then you got to go back home. It's like a 2 hour ordeal.
Yeah,
Um,
it really is. Yeah.
like it's great to do, like you feel good, but it's like damn, like there goes 2 hours. It's just like really hard to sometimes get it in.
You ever think about like getting the proper setup at home so that way you
I
can
have thought
avoid
about that.
all
That would
that?
be pretty sweet to do, but then it's like I think on the flip side though, for me, I like to get out of the house,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like if I was just here like for the whole day, I think I'd go crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. Ty Lopez, I don't know if you guys ever watch him. He has amazing stuff on like literally there's a thing he talks about that exact thing you just said.
Really?
He's like, yeah, he's like, you need to live within, I think it's 15 minutes walking distance of your gym. So like driving distance would be, nothing like that. So that's one thing. When you're at the gym, make sure your workouts are no more than, I think it was like 30 or 40 minutes or whatever. And then as you're at the gym, like incorporate your business stuff. Like you don't have to be super focused, headphones on, hardest workout of your life. Like he said his whole time he's at the gym, he's taking phone calls, whatever. And it's like, I'm not getting a 10 out of 10 workout. Maybe I'm getting an 8 out of 10, but I'm getting 80% of the way there. Like it's not like I'm not even trying to be a bodybuilder or whatever. So I can kind of half-ass this situation if I can just get in there and do it and put the time in, be in the gym, that type of thing.
That's
Tyler
smart.
is so good about that stuff. I watch him all the time, and
Man,
he
that
talks
was
about the health stuff a lot.
dude, he was like, say like my, he was like primetime viral video. Like, dude, that here in my garage thing is still one of my favorite like videos of like all time.
Yep, he took a hiatus 3 years off the internet, and now he's back. Man, you guys should watch him. Really, like he talks a lot about genetics and stuff. That's like one of his big thing too. Of like all these diets and everything is it's just about your genealogy, like more than anything. Like certain people can handle certain things more than other people, and like none of these things are one size fits all. Even lifting and making money, everything. And relationship, all this type of stuff. He's really, really good. But most people just think he's like a scammer because that here in my garage thing. He made a lot of money. I don't know how much money he had said, but he had made like tens and tens of millions of dollars from that video.
Yep. Yeah, he made a crap ton, and he owns Radio Shack.
Yeah. He owns I think he owns Hobby Lobby. Or not, maybe not Hobby Lobby, Dress Barn.
Tuesday Morning. Yeah, Dress Barn.
Yeah.
A couple other closed businesses or whatever.
Yeah. One more thing. Me and John had an idea last week of having a big panel with like 5 or 6 of us on here. Now we mentioned you and Duke and what were the other guys we talking? Checkmate Flips and Rakin. Yeah, having you 6 on here. It might be a little hectic, but I feel like we're always talking about more than just the Amazon stuff. So if you'd be interested in that, we would like to have you
100%.
on. Yeah, we'll try to plan it. We're almost on episode 50. I think episode 50 would be cool. And also, if people listen this far, let us know if you'd like to see something like that.
Yeah.
Who you recommend too. But we'd have to have some form of organization, probably. 6 people on a podcast would be pretty brutal. But
100%. Yeah.
But I'm sure it would be good. Maybe we could do like some more debates or something too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Heck yeah.
Yeah. But you got anything else, John?
I don't think so. Do you have anything, Jamison? Anything else you want to say?
Man. I'm
any cues, bro?
Baby. Are you going to Vegas too, Drew? For
I will not be in Vegas. No, I will not be there.
Okay.
I've never been to a conference, but I've never been to an Amazon conference. And now I feel like even it's less because now I'm not even in the space anymore. Like I don't.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I probably should have back in the day. Whatever.
Yeah, it's
Nice,
gonna be
all right.
fun. I feel like I'm looking forward to coming to Vegas for the Books and Beyond conference. If you guys want to go there, see us speak, you can grab a ticket.
Yes,
What are your
sir.
plans for Q4 then? For Amazon or eBay
Same.
or
Yeah, honestly, just more of what I'm doing, a little heavier. We're catching up on some our ASD wholesale orders are coming in, getting shipped out. Next month we'll probably start pushing really, really hard for, all the inventory we want to ship out for Christmas. I'm kind of waiting a little bit. I know like Amazon sends out that email like, oh, it takes XYZ days to check in. It's like, I'm not falling for that again. You tell me that every single year, and every year I've fallen for it and shipped in early. And then my shit sits there for 4 months and I pay 15 grand in storage fees, over Q4. Like I'm not falling for that. Like I'm shipping in, in October or, end of October, and I know it's going to get there in time. And because it's like, I don't know if they do that just to get more storage out of you, but it's like, yeah, obviously it takes a little bit to check in, but it's like, you don't need to be shipping in September, like 2,000 units that are going to sell on Christmas. Like, wait till you get those 4 times, storage bills, like $5,000 a month for 3 months in a row or whatever, like it's like, so we're not pushing hard yet for Q4, but we will get into the mix here, end of this month, probably beginning of next month, we'll start pushing a little bit hard, but yeah, just more of what we're doing. Honestly, I'm not like super focused on like hitting XYZ sales or beating last year's goals or anything. Honestly, I just want to keep, working on me, keep growing. I mean, that's the most important thing, is just keep being healthy mentally, physically, getting in touch with everything that I need to do, and everything else is going to work out just fine. So like this year, I'm very laid back this year. I'm not like gung ho. I've got to work 7 days a week. It's like, I'm going to do what I'm doing now, do then. Like, it's like,
Yep.
I'm very chill this year. Like trying to minimize my stress and just work hard. I have a balance of work hard, good life, good health, all that shit. Like, yeah. So I don't really have a plan. That's my plan, I guess.
I love that. I think a lot of this stuff comes in seasons. I think like people say this too. Like this isn't some original thought for me, but you have like these seasons you're like where you're working really hard, and you have seasons where you're like, okay, I've kind of accomplished a lot of stuff. Maybe it's time to just take it chill, not be lazy, but take a step back from stuff and not do as much. I feel like I'm trying to do that right now too. It's like I went really hard at the beginning of the year, and then I'm like, you know what? I probably just need to relax. I've been working for like 4 years nonstop with all this Amazon stuff, like 12-hour days some days. Maybe it's time to just like take a little bit off and then get into it either closer to the end of the year or next year or whatever. But I like the way you put that too. Kind of like just getting things right.
Yeah. Hundo. Yes, sir. Awesome.
All right. Close us out, John, because I always forget what to say at the end or I would.
All right, thanks guys for listening to another episode. Jamison, where can people find you?
Instagram, Winning with Jamison. YouTube, Winning with Jamison. TikTok, Winning with Jamison.
Sweet.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Peace out, y'all.